Well, hello, how's it going, guys? For Ethfinance, I'm one of your moderators, JT Nickel, at ProDJKC on Twitter, Jeremiah Nickel on YouTube. Thanks for joining our sub. If you have been here for a while, hopefully you've had a good experience here. We actually had a nice comment in the daily today. What is today, November 13th? Gentleman was commenting on, he likes the moderation style. He doesn't mind that we could be kind of heavy-handed with shillers and banning people and everything like that. Yeah, thank you. So hats off to you. I appreciate the compliment. We're happy to say that we haven't had to do a lot of banning lately. There's two reasons: price down, sideways action. We've had good involvement, but we've only had probably 200 to 300 regular contributors on the daily, let's say individual accounts. So when we get back to the 1,000 comment days and whenever the next craze comes along, like the ICO craze did, you'll see us get into gear with that. So fortunately, what I'm saying is we've got an awesome community, and it's really cool to see. We've got a lot of old timers that have come back, people that are talking development, people that are in the space. You'd be surprised if you use Reddit Enhancement Suite, which I suggest you do. Tag those people as you see them. If they introduce themselves as being part of a project, then make a tag on them so whenever they come through the thread again, you'll know who they are. It's pretty wonderful to see a lot of cross-pollination from the R Ethereum subreddit over to our subreddit. I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that we're not just a trading and price action sub. It'd be pretty boring if it was, in my book. I think we're kind of crossing into both boundaries of technology and finance along with trading. Now, obviously, when the trades start coming again, when the bull returns in full force, which it will, I believe, then there you go. But anyway, we've got an idea. The moderators are putting together some ideas in the background on how to have what's called a weekly projects thread or a weekly developers thread. So we do ban people if they're shilling a DApp that they've created. Number one way to get a ban is if most of your content history has to do with only your project and it's just spamming different, our cryptocurrency and our Ethtrader and our Ethfinance and our ETHDev or whatever. The constant shilling is going to be a red flag. However, we've kind of identified a few cases where they fell under the rules of shilling, but at the same time we feel like, okay, but they have a product and they present it at this convention or whatever. So what we're trying to do, and this is going to be with some help from the community, is we want to start a weekly thread where projects can come in once a week and put their information out there, okay? And so we can remove that from the daily, and they can not be considered shilling, even though they are advertising in a way. But I feel like how does a sole developer, a single person, ever really get their idea off the ground if they don't put it out on Twitter and Facebook and Reddit and YouTube and Medium? So we're, on one hand, we want to keep people safe. That's priority. Any obvious things, sock puppet, shilling, along with the main account just doing nothing but shilling, that's all going to fall under our normal subreddit rules anyway. But we do have a few individuals that we've been talking to over ModMail that would like to, be able to talk about their product without a fear of a ban. So we're kicking around this idea of a weekly. Now, what I'd like to see is we get the cross-pollination even thicker from the R Ethereum side of things, where we have teams from, Consensus and Concourse and ETHHub and all those different entities that are out there that are producing stuff along with Consensus, if I didn't already mention them. And they could come in our sandbox and developers could start talking to each other, trading information, giving tips, advice, GitHub trading, Twitter following. Be able to have a project come in and say, this is our website, here's our Medium handle, here's our Twitter handle, here's our YouTube, and put that information out there. And so other people in the community can kind of see it for themselves. And then what we can do is kind of watch it over time. Now, if an account comes in and that's all they're doing, every week and they don't do anything else to contribute in our sub or along other subs beyond just that, then that's a problem. So do you understand what we're kind of thinking is we need people that are contributing not just to the weekly with their one little blurb about their project, but also responding and commenting and voting and tweeting and helping out others as well. All right. So for instance, what was there, like 65 projects from East Waterloo recently, right? 65. What if we had a little sandbox where the conversation from East Waterloo could just continue right on into our sub in the weekly thread? But then they may pop up in the daily too. But the project discussion takes place on the weekly, and then price action and other news events take place in the daily. So now we got two auto-stickied things. So this is just a test map of rules that we've kind of thought about. All unrelated comments will be removed. So what does that mean? Let's take a look at a project comes in and they talk about their product. The very next comment comes in and says, "Good team, excellent job." Right? Gone. It may not be a ban, of course, but it might be a sign that might be a sock puppet. Low effort commenting. If you're really into the project or you want to learn more about the project, ask a question and push the ball forward. Little one-liner comments that come in and say, "Oh yeah, awesome job, great team." That's noise. We don't want it. It'll get removed. It'll get tagged. Moderators keep notes on a lot of things that go on. Just always know that the moderators are going to be watching this unfold. We all went through the ICO craze of 2017. How freaking annoying was that? Okay, that was annoying. Fortunately, those days are gone. But unfortunately, a lot of the baggage and the way that the moderator team, we really don't. We have a very big guard up about people coming in and just spamming their stuff. Here's rule number 2. Please only announce your project once per weekly project thread. This keeps the channel clean for everyone. By the way, this is kind of a draft of rules. I kind of put my little spin on this, but we have kind of come to some agreement that this is kind of a nice skeleton, a framework to work off of. This is not the final version, just so you know, because we want your input. What other things should we add in this? That's why I'm making this video. Number 3, sock puppets will be detected and banned along with potentially your primary account. It is transparent and it won't reflect well on your project. I guarantee you, if you've got sock puppets running your show with Carmen and everything like that, we will find it. We've got not just a moderator team, but there's a handful of other people that are in our sub that will private message us moderators, say, "Hey, take a look. I found this project spamming over here with these same accounts spamming on top of it," okay? You'll lose your main account, and you can cry to us at ModMail all you want, but we're not going to help you. Reddit accounts are free. All right. Number 4, please try and engage with the community in other topics beyond the scope of your project. I think this is a big one. If all your company does, or you as a developer does, is pop in once a week and just put the same thing over and over, that's not what this is about. Okay. Try to find other things to talk about, and don't do low effort stuff. I mean, just don't even waste your time with it. If it's not going to be something that you can dedicate to and help others build on and give ideas and whatnot, let me put it this way. We have a lot of very young developers, I feel like, that just need some help from other more seasoned veterans, okay? So if you're a young developer, post it out there, right? But also try to engage and ask questions on more seasoned developers. I would love to see some of our more seasoned projects come in and say, "Hey, this is happening. This is happening. This is happening." I got somebody at the door. Hold on one second. All right, I'm back. Yeah, that's right. I have a rooster for a doorbell. Kids here at school think it's hilarious. Anyway, class will be in session in about an hour. I'm just enjoying my morning coffee with you guys. Okay, this is a big one we need help on. Number 5, anonymous developers will not be allowed. Introduce yourself and your team as much as you can. Names, associated social profiles, etc. when presenting your project. In other words, tell the community about yourself. Okay, I have a real problem with anonymous developers. However, talking to the moderator team, it kind of makes sense to allow for pseudo-anonymous. All right, so what's a good example of a pseudo-anonymous developer? There are developers, let's say they work in a big company, right? And they do coding for, I don't know, Cerner Healthcare, who knows. Their pet project has to do with crypto, okay? And a lot of those developers, if you work for a company, your code is owned by them. I don't know. I'm just saying it's kind of like a side job. So a pseudo-anonymous developer has a very well-known Twitter handle or a very well-known GitHub, but it's not their real name, okay? So I think that rule needs to be amended. We need to allow, I guess, what is it, like Barry Whitehat? One of the other moderators brought him to my attention. Barry Whitehat, I guess, is well-known across the crypto space for building really cool tools and toys. And we don't lose out on him just because he doesn't have a real name, okay? So if you do have a team that uses your real names, list it. List your Twitters, list your LinkedIns, and anything that helps keep the community in touch with your project. Pseudo-anonymous people, same thing. List all of your pseudo-anonymous handles that you have so you can enjoy being in part of the conversation as well. Now, truly anonymous is like brand new Twitter handle, brand new code, no history at all whatsoever. And it could be, we don't know if the code is clean or not. That's not up to us moderators anyway. By the way, that's another thing we need help from the community is like well-known, people that know their code and know how to dig deep in a project to find the red herrings, or not red herrings, but the bad actors, let us know. Okay, so number 5 is probably going to be, truly anonymous. We're not even going to make time for you. Brand new Reddit account, right? First 5 posts in the last 10 days of an account was all across different crypto subs, copy paste of just the same spam stuff. That's not an announcement, okay? That's just not an announcement. And so that'll be gone. Pseudo-anonymous, all right? You got a reputation. You don't want your real name exposed for a variety of reasons. Well, I get it. Okay, so we're probably going to do a pseudo-anonymous in public only. We'd like your feedback on that. All right, number 6, all other subreddit rules still apply. All right, we're not doing flame wars. Let's not brigade. That's against Reddit rules anyway. All the typical stuff. If you have any concerns or questions, let's say the weekly's live now. Let's say this weekly developer, new project discussion is live. If you have any concerns or questions before you post, get a hold of us somehow. We have a Discord. It's right on the sidebar. You can't miss it. It's right at the top of the daily. Discord's a real easy way to find us, right on the public Discord, and we can address your concerns ahead of time. We always, it's a contact the moderators. It's one of our rules, and that's just to let's help you get your word out the cleanest way possible, and stay within those guidelines, and we'll be good. This is something new for everybody, and things may change. Ultimately, the buck stops with the moderators, but we definitely need your help, and we definitely want to do this. We just need to find out: are we hitting on the right cylinders? Do you think that that engine is a good cleaning engine that we can use on a regular basis, to attract more conversation for developers in the space and keep it going? I feel like Steve Ballmer from Microsoft right now. I swear to God. Let's see. I just had some notes here. Yeah. We want your feedback. Okay. I don't have anything else. Moderator team, we have good discussions. Okay. We don't all agree. We're not all 100% together. We all know how to communicate and make things work, and that's good because we got a lot of great ideas as a moderator team, and we want to find out what the community wants too. And so, it's not, we know how to communicate and get things done. Ultimately, we want to just make the best our sub can be. And thank you for subscribing to Ethfinance. The best days are ahead of us, man. Cheers and big hugs from Kansas City.